Hello and welcome to another series of our Wednesday webinar with Grand Canyon University's Canyon Professional Development. I am Corey, your host, and today we are going to talk about parent support for college-bound students. Not only is this important for educators because we deal with parents all the time, but this really important transition where students are going off to college is something that maybe we don't think about all the time. Maybe we don't want to. Maybe we're ready to kick them out and not think about it again. But I am so excited to have a very special guest with us today. Casey, before we get started on the really intense tips and tricks you have for us, can you set the stage for our learning today?
Absolutely. Thank you so much. So the quote I chose is the most important work you'll ever do will be within the walls of your own home by Harold B. Lee. I just think this is so important for parents to understand is they're in the trenches with their students. They're raising them to be confident, adventurous adults to spread their wings and to fly, and just understand that the work that you do is valuable and it's noticed and it's so, so important.
Thank you so much. As a parent speaking to you right now, I really appreciate that, Casey, because for me, this has been quite the journey, and my son is heading off to college next year, so I'm excited for this conversation. Will you tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Yes, thank you. Well, my name is Casey Mayben. I have the most incredible job in the world. I work for Grand Canyon University, and I get to come alongside and support parents through the entire admissions process, even before that. So I love the fact that the school is invested in someone who's just there to be a direct contact, a resource to walk through this entire season. I worked in a high school. I was an educator for 24 years prior to coming to GCU. I worked in an administrative role as a student advisor. So my work that I've done previously has really helped set the stage for being able to offer just support to parents as they walk through doing the FAFSA, college admissions, navigating financial aid and budget worksheets, and really just even more important that I have my own daughters who have been through college, and just from a parent perspective and a parent heart, understanding the joys and the tears and all the crazy emotions that come with sending a student off to college. So
Oh,
I
I'm
love my job. I love it.
I'm so excited to meet you and hear that because I'll need some hand holding as my son is leaving. I have a daughter in college as well, but as an educator from this standpoint, we often are looking for students who don't have that support. And so knowing that you are there for whether it's a parent or maybe a guardian or even a teacher who acts like a mother or father to a student, that you are there to walk the road with us. So today, folks, we're going to give you some tips for parents of college-bound students and or tutors and or educators, including a college checklist, the survival skills that they must have when they go off to college, critical conversations. Oh, Casey, I'm going to need that one. I don't think I'm as good at that as the next parent, perhaps. And then obviously the celebrating of milestones. That part comes easy to me. I do like the party part, but I do also know that once they're off at college, I know I need to do my part as well. So let's just get right into it. Tell us what we need to know as parents and as educators helping parents send their students to college.
Great. And a lot of this can be encouragement that comes straight from the classroom teacher, helping students understand timelines and important dates. But really, that college checklist you can look and see on this slide there. Make sure you're encouraging students to utilize their career and college career center on their high school campus. Underutilized most of the time, but they have a wealth of resources. We're going to talk about the SAT and the ACT because there's a lot of information out there going both directions. Prior to the pandemic, almost all universities required these standardized tests for admissions, and then that has changed because opportunities to take those went away. Some schools are bringing those back. Others are only using those for scholarship opportunities. So really make sure that you check with the university that you're considering on what the requirements are for SAT and ACT.
So Casey, let me ask you, as a parent, I just heard recently that yeah, some schools are bringing this requirement back, but is it is it always necessary or does it help with a scholarship opportunity? Like that's interesting that you said that if my child doesn't have that score, he or she might miss out on a scholarship.
Sometimes that's the case. I can tell you at Grand Canyon University that SAT, ACT is not a requirement for admissions. Our admissions process is based more on their GPA. However, maybe their GPA is not as high as they want it to be. They can actually increase scholarship opportunities by having higher SAT or ACT scores. So this is something that's going to take a little bit of extra work to check into what your university that you're looking at requires and what they offer scholarship wise. But these are typically offered once a month in most areas of the country. So sign up, take them. It never hurts to take the SAT or the ACT.
That is a great piece of information. And those scholarship applications can be intimidating. So, as a parent, who do I go to for some help with that? Because I know my student, especially my boy, I mean, he barely checks his email, Casey. He's going to check a scholarship application. What do I
I
do?
know, I know. Great question. Great question. Well, like I said, college and career centers at high school typically have a database of local and national scholarship opportunities. You can look online, check out entities that you know that are local. Um, Another little side one that I can share with you. My dad was a part of a labor union for 20 years. His labor union gives every dependent child and grandchild automatically a scholarship, something we didn't even think about. Rotary clubs, Kiwanis clubs, sometimes churches have matched scholarships. So start thinking outside of the box in addition to the research that you're doing and that you're getting from your school. You're always welcome to reach out to me. We're going to include my information in the show notes so that you can check in with me as well. So,
Thank you so much for that. Okay, you heard it here, guys. You're going to have Casey's information in the show notes. So don't worry if you have a question after this webinar. You're definitely going to be able to ask her more. But I will also say, I see what you have on here: letters of recommendation. Tell me how important those are.
well, for scholarship applications, sometimes they're very important. A lot of entities that are giving out money to students want to know that they've made an investment in their community, that they have that they've just done a great job, whether in class or that their involvement. So never too soon for students to reach out to teachers, to employers, just to have them write a character reference for them. They'll also be asked to submit transcripts from their high school. Your high school counselor is always able to do that. That's part of the admissions process. And then I am going to hit on that other bullet point about the FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid. It's that document, that application that people talk about that nobody likes to do, but it's so
Daunting.
important.
It's daunting, isn't it?
It is very daunting. And I have done it 7 times in my own home, and I've done it with students for years. So please reach out if there's some way I can assist. There's also in the online FAFSA portal, they do offer assistance, live assistance. So it's getting easier. It will open up in October for the 22-23 school year. Parents will use their tax information from 2020. So it's already done. You can even link it directly to your IRS information. So it's getting easier. It still sounds daunting, but I definitely want to encourage everyone to complete it. So often I hear parents say, oh, we're not going to qualify for anything anyway. What's the point? But there are merit-based scholarships that do require that. And you never know if your student's going to choose a different route. They may want to utilize some of the low interest federal loans that are available only through FAFSA. So it doesn't hurt to do it. Just
Great
don't do it.
advice. Super, super advice. Now, I always think about visiting campus, but it might be challenging for people to visit campus, especially if they're living out of the state. What are your thoughts about visiting campuses, particularly at GCU?
Well, I don't think there's any other way to get a true feel for what a campus community is than to step foot. And we do understand that at GCU that can be challenging for students who live far away. We have campus visit opportunities where we will actually fly your student in, we'll pay for their plane ticket, they'll get to spend the night on campus. They will get to have all their meals covered while they're on campus and go through a whole day of programming, 2 days of programming, just to let them get a genuine, authentic campus feel. All they
Whoa,
have
whoa,
to
whoa,
do
whoa, 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 whoa. That you get a free trip to campus? What's the catch?
Well, you know what? We just have that much confidence that students will love the community at GCU, that we know that getting there is a barrier for some of them. So we fly them in. We really do. It really happens. They just have to have applied and been accepted. And once they do
Applied and
that,
been accepted. So that sounds like they have to be a senior in high school or a
correct.
junior. Could they be a junior? But they have
That's
applied and accepted?
correct. Yes.
Wow, that is incredible. That is the GCU. Wow, that's amazing. No school does that that I know other than
No.
GCU. Holy cow. Thank you. Well, that is amazing. And if they come to campus, their parents don't come with them, right?
On that particular offering, no, that's just for students. However, we do have other travel reimbursement opportunities if parents want to come with their students. It looks a little bit different. I could walk you through that if you want to reach out to me.
That is awesome. What about Arizona students? Can they, I mean, even if they, obviously they don't need to fly to campus, but can they come to campus to check it out as well?
Absolutely. We love our Arizona students. Yes.
Well, I can't wait to get to know more and more about what you offer as far as that parent support piece. So, let's talk about survival skills. What do they need to know?
Well, the summer before your student heads off, these are just really important things for them to know how to handle before they leave for college. We don't think about them often. Having a bank account, understanding how to budget a little bit and manage their spending, huge. Important to start that now. You would be shocked to know many students do not know how to do a load of laundry.
What?
And
Are you kidding me? My kid, he doesn't know how to do it well, but he knows how to do it.
well, the beautiful thing is you want him to get better, right? So this summer would be a great time for him to maybe step in and take over those duties. Um, you know, all joking aside, it could be a really embarrassing moment for a student to show up on campus and not know how to do their laundry. And so as parents, we really do want to give them the tools that they need. And it sounds like torture to try to get your student to do laundry, but in the big picture, you're giving them a gift. So make that a commitment. They also need to know how to obtain and prepare basic food. They may miss a meal or two. They might sleep through a meal. Um, they may study through a meal. I don't know, but just helping them to gain confidence in those skills before they go is really important.
You know what, Casey? I feel like this seems so intuitive, but I just sometimes do the laundry because it's easier, or I know
Right.
that my kid needs a meal because I've been doing it for so long. I didn't even think about the fact that, hey, let me watch you prepare a meal, or better yet, prepare a meal for us, for the family.
Yeah.
What a
Yeah.
great idea. I don't know why is that not intuitive? Thank you for sharing
Right. You're welcome. Couple other little tips for on those survival tips. Managing healthcare. You know, once they turn 18, regardless of what we think, they're considered an adult. And we don't have the ability to call and make doctor's appointments for them. So this is a good time that summer prior to leaving for them to step up, pick up the phone, call the dentist, schedule their appointment. You're just not going to be able to do that for them after this year. So those are important things. I put on their documents for employment. If your student plans on having a work study job or any type of job, they have to complete those I-9 forms and they have to have original copies of birth certificates, passports, whatever it is that they have. And parents don't like to give those up. They like to send them with photocopies. So these are little things to start thinking about. They are adults. They do need to be responsible for them. So you don't want to have to mail them and risk it getting there later. So
that. Is
just that.
brilliant. Brilliant. I mean, now I'm thinking of vaccination cards as well, because that's another piece and puzzle of the, the COVID-19 pandemic. So I thank you. I didn't even think about this. Yay. All right. And then finally, trusting their instincts.
Yes, as soon as you can start having just organic conversations with your student, what are they going to do when they get in a situation? And again, like I say, organic. Don't sit them down at the table at 4 o'clock on Monday to just rapid fire question at them. But if something happens, even if a friend of theirs gets in a little fender bender, hey, what would you do if you were driving around in Phoenix and somebody smacked into your car? Do you know who you would call? Do you know what you need to have? Um, if they hear of someone making a bad choice or getting in trouble, have you thought through what that would look like if you're in a dorm and one of your roommates decides to do that? or just opportunities where they might not be safe, thinking through those conversations, having them come up and helping them to start problem solving ahead of time and thinking through, gosh, I'm not going to have mom or dad here to guide me through at the moment.
Oh, goodness, which completely segues into the critical conversations, which I
Right.
know I need to do better at. So, what can I do to prepare? All great information so far.
Great. Well, yes. Again, if your student's traveling far away from campus, a lot of times we don't think about these things until they actually happen, and then we're in triage mode. So, if ahead of time, what would happen if there's a family emergency or if something happens to the dog that's already lived beyond its years? Is there an expectation that your student is or isn't going to be able to fly home? Those are tough things to think about in the moment. So, navigating also what the expectations are for visits. My daughter was far away. We were over 1,000 miles away, and we just told her, "You're not going to get to spend your birthday at home." Are you going to be able to handle that?
Well,
I talked
that's
to other parents, yeah, other parents who are local where their students go, and they have to put other boundaries. You know what? You're only allowed to come home once a month.
good point.
Right. So just those are just important conversations that you want to walk through beforehand. Again, not all at once, not in one sit down meeting, but as you're talking about school, a great time to do it's while you're out shopping for bedding or just getting ready to go, helping your student think these things through so that it's not just a big point of explosion when it actually happens.
So, so important. Thank you so much for that because we don't always think about it. And of
Right.
course, this is almost, for me at least, he's almost graduating. I mean, heck, he's got to get through English first. So let's be honest. I mean, there are times where I'm like, are you really going to do this? But I do want to celebrate some milestones. So, what is your final advice for us here?
Final advice, your students will rise to the occasion. They are ready for this freedom and they're excited, just as excited or more as you are. Also have some anxiety. So my best advice is to just enjoy every moment of their final season at home. Celebrate all the little tiny things. If they call and make a doctor's appointment for the first time, celebrate it. Like that's exciting. If they did the laundry, that's great.
Woo! Yes.
Being accepted to college, not every student has that opportunity. So if they've worked hard and they've done the task to apply and be accepted, those are great things. Even just checking little things off the list, those are things to celebrate. And then, like you said, maybe put little reminders on your calendar moving forward. Re- Opportunities that you can gift them with something at college and just help them to remember that you're not there as their parent to just hover over and tell them everything that they need to do, but you're transitioning into this lifelong friend, this person that's going to be there to cheer for them for the rest of their lives.
Oh, I'm starting to get a little teary here, Casey. I'm not kidding.
Aw,
I feel like when like I love that idea of putting something on my calendar reminding me to maybe send a little something, and it doesn't have to be anything big, right? Even
right.
a text message, right? Hey, I'm thinking about you today. I think that goes a long way. So gosh, you just have
Definitely.
amazing information, and I know that you do even more for parents, for parents of incoming students, and what kind of resources do you offer for your parent based group?
Right. Well, the big one is the bullet point at the bottom with the QR code, and that is our virtual webinars that my entire team hosts regularly. We help students through career exploration. We do seminars on how to reduce debt, how they can graduate from college faster. I have parent to parent info sessions where we just ask and answer questions. So definitely go check out our webpage, check out those offerings and sign up for as many as you want because we love walking through parents through this journey.
And this is where I'm taking a picture of these
Yep.
codes, guys. So I'm opening that up and I cannot wait to take advantage of this. This is so different and so unique for GCU. What a neat opportunity for a university to really get personalized with parents because, after all, oftentimes universities are all about the students, which is great. They should be. But, we're people too. We want to make sure that our students are having the best opportunity. And I've just heard a lot of wonderful things. For example, listening to getting those critical conversations in that kind of organic, hey, what would happen if, and thinking about their health care as they go off and making sure they don't lose their, birth certificate, because if they do, then they have to pay for it, right? These
Right,
are the things that adulting, this is what adulting is all about, right?
right.
So,
Absolutely.
folks, I hope that you were able to take something away today. I know I was, and granted, I happen to be in this particular mode of my life. But if you're an educator, a tutor, a grandmother, even if you're teaching kindergarten right now, before you know it, those little cherubs are going to be along their merry way to the next journey of their life. So I just hope that you take the advantage of the opportunity to connect with Casey Mayben, who's graciously offered to put her information in our show notes. We'll give you some information about FAFSA. And so don't worry, everything is recorded here, and you will have some information as you move forward. Don't forget that our why is to empower, educate, and inspire our community so they take action to fulfill their purpose and to serve one another. And that is why we are here. And I'm just so tickled that GCU, not only do they fly the students out to get a visit on campus or bring them for GCU Day? And here's Casey, who takes care of the parents of those students. We offer so much, and including some professional development for your educators. And if you want Casey to do some professional development about parent topics, I know that she'd be happy to do that. Yes, Casey?
Absolutely. I would love to.
So reach out to us at canyonpd.com, and don't forget to subscribe now for more free PD. Until next time, this has been your Wednesday webinar, Parent Support for those college-bound students. Thanks again, Casey. We appreciate you being here, and thank you for doing what you're doing for students and parents. Until
Thank
next
you
time.
so much.